Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Steckline Report with a special guest. The Secretary of Agriculture of the state of Kansas is with me, Dale Rodman. Stay tuned, friends. We're going to talk agriculture in 60 seconds.
I first got started in the cattle business. My wife and my father-in-law got me into it. I love dealing with the animals and being in the outdoors. At American Ag Credit, I know a lot of them are in the same business that I am. Therefore they understand what I need and what problems I'm against, so they can work with you on it. And it makes it much easier.
It's been passed down to me through the generations, and I want to pass it on down to the next generation or two.
At Case IH, we are committed to being in the field, working with producers. That's why 2/3 of our experts are out there helping them with on-site solutions to increase power, improve efficiency, and maximize their productivity. The world of farming is changing, and we'll be there to ensure you're ready.
I'm ready. Visit your local straw dealer today.
Well, hi, folks. Welcome back to the Steckline Report with our special guest, Secretary of Agriculture of Kansas, Dale Rodman's with me. And Mr. Secretary, boy, we've got a lot to talk about and not enough time, I know, this time around. But I got to start off with the state of agriculture for the Midwest and include all the states besides Kansas, but especially Kansas. Are we in pretty good shape, or are we kind of hurting?
Well, we've had a little bit of rain here recently. The drought in particular in Kansas in the last 2 years has been very, very dramatic. We've been helped a little bit by high grain prices. However, I talked to a guy from Goodland today. He said he hadn't had his combine out of the shed for 2 years, and yet the interstate was flooded last week out there. So that describes a little bit the state of agriculture. I had one of the largest farmers in Kansas call me about 6 months ago, and he said, "Why don't you quit?" I said, "Why? What are you talking about?" And he said, "It hasn't rained since you've been here." And I said, if it had rained, I would quit. Now, last year we had tremendous problems in eastern Kansas, and the drought came through there as well. I just kind of give a few kudos to some of the people in my area and my department that we went through this clean-out program, all the ponds and dams, and
yes.
we now have water storage in eastern Kansas, which protects our cost of gain, which keeps our competitive advantage for our feed yards and our packing plants. And it's very critical for us that the cattle went into the Flint Hills this year. And of course the rains helped the wheat pasture as well for this fall again. So we've been spotty in some places, but when you talk about agriculture, Kansas is such a diverse area, you have to talk about where in Kansas.
No doubt about that. Speaking of drought, it's caused a lot of concern about water in our part of the country. We've got lawsuits going on with all kinds of people, Nebraska, Colorado, and other states are suing other states, and it looks to me like this could be one of our biggest detriments to the future of agriculture.
What's a real problem about where we go with agriculture? I've been preaching a little bit for the last couple of years. As you know, I come from a business background, and you must plan for the future, and you have to kind of decide where you want to go, where you want to be, and then try to figure out how to get there. We have, although we have a state water authority and state water office, which is responsible for doing that, and I happen to be on the board of that. We've had like 5-year water plans, and we're going to step back and try to do a 20-year plan. Number one, we need more storage in eastern Kansas. It's crazy to have 40 inches of rain and all go to Oklahoma. Number two, we got a city like Wichita that was very close to being out of water last year. Needs a plan for the future. They're beginning to do some work on that. And then we got the Ogallala in the west, which there's two philosophies. There's how do I perpetuate this for the future, and then one is I'm going to pump it all and buy all the land I can with the money I make, so I'll be the largest dryland farmer.
Mr. Secretary, what about irrigation? Do you think that people who currently have irrigation and those who are planning on irrigation should take a good, long, hard look at this? Is there going to be a day when that may not be possible?
Well, no question. It's we're depleting the aquifer. I invite anybody to just go down to Lubbock, Texas, and fly in and take a look-see. If you want Western Kansas to look like that, that's our potential for the future. We through the state have tried to do several things. We got rid of the use it or use it law, use it or lose it law last year, which people actually just continued to pump in order to protect their water right, which was crazy, a waste of water. We have introduced locally enhanced management areas or LEMAs last year. We got one created up in the Northwest, but we have one GMD, our largest GMD, that refuses to do that, although they got members within their own district that want to do this type of thing. So I actually get one or two nasty calls a week about water. I call it the water wars. Yet last year it was the eastern part of of Kansas, because we do have irrigation rights that are dependent upon minimum stream flows. Most of that problem is gone by the wayside at the present time. But people could put if you could get irrigation rights and you could top off corn for only 3 or 4 inches, you could pay for an irrigation system in a year.
No doubt about that. Mr. Secretary, I thank you for your time. Quickly, 1 or 2 messages, future of agriculture, in your opinion.
Well, we've been through a lot of cycles in agriculture. Probably there's 2 things that are really a concern right now, I think, to agriculture. Number one is we've been living on cheap interest rates for quite some time. We all know that this is a false economy in front of us. I hope that our farmers and ranchers are better prepared than they were in the 70s when we really got upside down on everything. The other major concern is, what do we do, because there is no information coming through the system, whether it's the lack of the farm bill, or what I do on crop insurance, or what I do about this regulation. There's nothing that's consistent, and business must have some consistency in it in order for people to invest and move forward. And it's a big part of our problem with our total U.S. system today that we got.
Secretary of Agriculture of Kansas, Dale Rodman. I'm Larry Steckline. See you next time around.